Wool gatherers, and welcome to Wanderings in Wool Gathering, episode 158. On tonight's episode, we are going to talk briefly about AI. There has been a bit of a development this weekend, and I thought Mr. Mundy and I would like to discuss it, seeing as how it's near and dear to our hearts. And also, we're going to be reviewing the latest album from 3Teeth called EndEx. And this is new for me. I was not a 3Teeth guy, but glad we got a chance to listen to this. I think after listening to the show tonight, you should check that out. You will be glad that you did. If you like what you see and hear, subscribe, leave a comment, and feel free to share with your friends. Tonight's episode is brought to you by The Pressing Issue. Let The Pressing Issue take care of your comics with their expert cleaning and pressing services, whether it's basic dry clean, press of a wrinkled cover, stains removed, or maybe whitening a dingy cover. Pressing Issue is the place to send your books. Right now, they're on Facebook. There will be a website, full website, the whole shebang soon. And if you're asking why in the world do you want to clean your books, well, it can add a ton of value to them. So check them out. Look for the red and white logo. Joining me tonight for episode 158 is none other than Metalhead Mundy.
Step inside into his mind. It's boy band time. It's
Metalhead Mundy.
There
Hola.
he is.
Hola, hola.
Hola. What's up?
Well, chilling in my pretty new chair, so comfy.
You gotta love it. You may never leave that chair.
It's pretty nice. I'm not gonna lie. It's a nice upgrade from what I had, like one of our dining room chairs in here, and it was so bad. Like I was listening to something. I had my headphones in here, and I was kind of sitting here, and I was like, bouncing my leg up and down, and I was like, wait a minute. And I took my headphone out, and it did not sound like I was bouncing my leg. It sounded like I was doing something else. It's squeaking. So.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Had to get that out of here. So
Nice. Yeah, I the first I had heard of 3Teeth was, I think, did Paul share that video?
Yes, he
Yeah.
did.
In that text group, and that's the first that I had heard. They hadn't come across my radar.
Okay.
And interesting that we just hit the we were going to do Ministry, but they pushed theirs back. We just did Filter.
Yeah.
And now this one weighs in.
Yeah.
And cool. Little
This is-
good industrial is great.
Yeah, 3Teeth this is their fourth album. They're from LA. So they've been around for a minute. And yeah, this is kind of on the heavier end of the industrial spectrum. So
Yep.
it's a little different than Filter. I mean, Filter's got some good heavy riffs and stuff, but that's not all they're about.
No.
But
There's one
3Teeth
song on here that out filters Filter.
okay, yeah. 3Teeth goes pretty hard, and I'm not like a super fan, but I've seen a lot of their videos. Their videos are always really cool looking. So there's several of these songs that have videos.
And fun fact, after shows, to wind down, they listen to Steely Dan.
Nothing wrong with that.
Just wouldn't have thought it, but hey, good deal. Okay, so this weekend I was on Twitter, and I believe it was Mike Allred's account.
Okay.
And he had posted, there was a guy who was all excited. He was abuzz because look, anybody can create comic books with AI. You just put the info in, you tell it what to do, and it creates it. And I've seen it with text. Literally, you can have it do anything for you. It'll do it in 30 seconds, and it does it pretty well. And there are a million uses for it. I'm not the guy that's saying AI is the end of the world, because it's not. It's very useful for many things. But when it comes to creativity, do not want it entering my creativity world. And here's an example that I want to discuss with you tonight.
Okay.
So this person decided that they were going to use AI and create a Batman comic. Okay. And they were very proud of this, showing this. Okay. So here's the first. Is this great? You know, it's whatever. Just the Batmobile. But as we go, you're going to see something. And I think I'm going to have to tell you, and you're going to be like, oh, yeah, I see it.
Okay.
So there's Batman. That's what it created, the AI.
Huh. All right.
I wonder what that looks like.
I mean, it looks obviously the markings on the cowl and the shape is different, obviously, with the markings on the cowl and the Batmobile are very 66 Batman.
Mm-hmm.
And that, I mean, the Batman art there looks a lot like Michael Allred, who you had mentioned.
Yep. So,
who I know has done some covers for Batman 66.
Oh, yes. And I'll show you here in a second.
I mean, that looks like Brian Bolland artwork.
Okay. So, yeah. So this was another page that it created. With the Joker there and Robin.
That is straight up Brian Bolland artwork.
So, yeah, I wonder where it got its images. And there is Batman 66 for Mike Allred.
Yeah, that's 100% a Mike Allred cover right there.
So
that's even got the little DC, the Peel logo that we all hate down there.
Yeah, the old boy. But yeah, so creation.
Wait, okay, so this image that's on here that looks very much like an Allred cover.
That is.
Okay.
So I was doing the comparison. So this Batman that's right here is essentially that. Very much the Allred style.
Yeah.
66.
This one's kind of, the AI one there is kind of a mix of like comics and 66 looking.
Yeah. And you can tell they even used the Batmobile there.
Yeah.
Which that kind of looks like the that Batmobile, but not quite.
So that looks like more like the first one looks more 89. Like an animated series, actually.
That's true. So those don't even match up. But anyway, so it's just sad that what it's creating is not duplicates, but they're aping the style of real people so much that it's not a new creation. It's just a hack.
Well, that's the thing is like, as far as especially this kind of artwork goes, the problem with the AI is it's spitting out what is put into it. It's not really creating anything. It's taking everything that has been put into it and kind of mushing it together and spitting out this kind of stuff.
But it worries me that that's how people are going to use it for story creation or more art like this. And I've seen some art where they say, paint this in the style of Picasso. Looks nothing like Picasso.
Yeah.
You know, and presenting that as if it's your own is just ridiculous, I think.
Yeah. Another recent thing was, Marvel's TV show for Secret Invasion.
Yeah.
The opening credits. I mean, they looked great, but I feel like they should have credited Dave McKean because holy crap, that was exactly his style. Like all of it. That looked like they could have hired Dave McKean to do those opening credits and it would have looked better.
Absolutely would have been.
If they wanted that
more
style,
interesting too.
Yeah, if they wanted that style, just use him. Like hire the artist instead of doing this AI crap and I understand like studios are going to try to do it because they try to cut corners everywhere they can. They're trying to save money. And I get that to a certain extent. But if you want quality, just pay the artist.
Originality.
Yeah.
I forget who said it, but basically it was AI was supposed to do the menial tasks so that people can be more creative. And instead what's happening is it's putting those people out of jobs and taking the creative jobs.
Yes.
Even though it's not creating anything new. So
that is the problem.
And the other thing is, I think with AI, you can't get proper layout. You can't get those creative pages that we love, the real storytelling and the direction and acting. You're going to get very bland pages. And I hope that's the case. It doesn't actually come into the the page.
So AI is, I mean, by definition, it's going to be derivative. It's not going to be imaginative because it's just regurgitating.
Yep.
It's not creating, it's regurgitating. So,
Yeah.
there you go.
So, but that was, and some people were jumping on board like it was the best thing in the world. And then other people were like, come on, dude, it's lifting from other people essentially.
Well, I mean, we just had the whole writers' strike and the SAG-AFTRA strike, and a lot of it was about that, you know. So it was all about the AI, you know, replacing this, that, and the other, and writers and actors not getting credited, you know, stealing the actor's image and using that in perpetuity without paying the actors. And I mean, you know, part of it is also, of course, about, you know, streaming numbers and residual. How do you get residuals from streaming and all that stuff? But I mean, the AI is a huge part of it.
Yeah. So this is the first time I'd seen it pop up with an actual example from comics. So I thought that was interesting.
Yeah. Very interesting.
Yep. So go away, AI, except for when we need you.
I would say that was interesting, but not in a great way.
Exactly.
It's kind of proving the point.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, that was our precursor. That was our warm up, so to speak, before we got to 3Teeth. And of course, they put the 3 into aliens, which was clever.
Yeah.
We get them used in that. So, all right. This one is called EndEx. Not like index with an I, but end, and then another capital EX, EndEx. And largely, I would say, like most of their work, I suppose, is about corruption and greed.
Sure.
And, dealing with a world that only cares about money and the now and not being responsible.
I would say in that way, they're kind of carrying on this industrial tradition set forth by, you know, like Ministry, Frontline Assembly, Nine Inch Nails to an extent. They're a little broader, but
agree.
You know, it's that kind of thing. And the title EndEx, I like how they spelled it because it almost, not so much on the album cover, but when you see the title pop up elsewhere, it kind of reminds me of FedEx, which is, I mean, so this, like, are they delivering the end or, you know, something like that? So I don't know if that was intentional or if that's just me, but made me think that.
Well, I think their cover on here is very intentional.
Oh, yes. Yes.
But the end, there is kind of a song about the end on this that I really like. So anyway, so there they are not alone on here. They get a little help from a couple of folks. And you want to speak briefly about them?
So Mick Gordon is on several songs. I didn't write down all the ones that he's on, but he is he's Australian. He's a composer, producer, musician, sound designer. He does most of his work for video games. He's worked a lot on like the Doom and sequels of that, Wolfenstein, you know, just several games. That's mostly what he does, but I think they have worked with him a couple of times, I think. But yeah, so I don't know exactly what he's doing on here, but
he's on 5 songs.
Yes, so I don't know if he's doing like producing, sound design, guitar, that kind of stuff. I'm not sure.
With Doom being, you know, heavily industrial, I guess, in the way that it's produced, I would imagine that he fit right in with doing whatever he did on this record.
Yeah,
because that's right up his alley. But yeah, he was on specifically 4, and then he was with Horror as well on Paralyze. So for a total of 5.
Yeah, he obviously worked well with them because, I mean, he shows up several times. So, and I'll talk about Horror when we get to that song, if that's cool.
Cool. That's horror spelled with 3 nines.
Yeah,
Because that's cool.
it's something.
It took me a minute to figure out what the heck the group was
Yeah,
called.
I've heard of them before, so I
Yeah.
knew what it was. but-
Yeah, same. But when I think they were playing at a concert, I think I was like, "Who's this band?" And they said horror. I'm like, "Who? No, this." Oh, okay. Now I get it. So, all right. So anyway, album opener is Xenogenesis.
Mhm.
I guess the origin of I just instantly went to like xenophobic, but I'm not sure based on the lyrics if that's what that meant. But anyway, not. I didn't love this as an album opener. I didn't love the song
Yeah.
actually.
It's kind of I didn't mind the song, but it's kind of a slow, dirty groove. It's not like a pace setter, I guess, for the rest of the album. I like the song. There wasn't really any song on here I didn't like, but I feel like his vocals on this and throughout this album, I mean, I could say it's about any song. It's kind of the typical industrial thing where it's very, he has like, he's not, I would not call him a great singer. And that's a lot. I mean, Al Jorgensen, he's not a great singer. There's lots and lots of industrial bands that have that. And you don't have to be, because they do a lot of processing with the vocals, a lot of effects, and it works. It just works. So,
and it's not like they're he's a balladeer or anything. His voice is almost an instrument. On these songs. And I did not dislike this song, but when I first heard it, I thought, man, I don't know if I'm going to like this record. It just did not hit me right off the bat.
Yeah.
And then the Acme Death Machine sort of picked up where that left off, and I thought, man, I don't know, but
then it kicks in.
It did. It kicked in. There was, and then there was like a cool breakdown with a little bit of melodic singing, and I was like, okay, there's more versatility here, and so this one for me is where the album then it really takes off.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a better opener, in my opinion.
Could have been. I like the drums on Acme Death Machine are like, they're kind of crisp and sterile. Like there's not a ton of effects on them, which, they don't feel like they're being manipulated too terribly much. I really dug the keyboards on the chorus, and you're talking about it starts off kind of slow. I kind of like the build up.
I do too.
It really worked on this one, and it may have been a better way to kick off the album. I don't know, but then I don't know where you might put Xenogenesis. So,
in the slog.
Yeah.
No, there wasn't much of a slog, really.
There really wasn't for me either.
And I just hate to say it that way. It's just that it wasn't the song that grabbed me. If I didn't listen, if I hadn't known we were doing this, or that this group had been around and you guys liked them, I don't know that song would have grabbed me enough to go on.
Okay.
But I'm certainly glad I did, because the next song is a banger. It is a great song, Slum Planet.
Yep.
It has some super biting lyrics, talking about the state of the world. The music is fantastic. I got a little Marilyn Manson vibe here back when he was good. If that makes sense. The Beautiful People time frame. Lots of good stuff coming from him. I got that bit there, but this was one of my probably top 3 on the record.
Slum Planet's a great song. Very, very cool riff. It's super heavy and catchy. And you talk about the lyrics, the rant in the middle is pretty cool. It's kind of like he rides kind of under the music, and he's just, he's really just, it's almost like a soliloquy almost. He's just kind of ranting. But it's, I think this is the one where it's kind of, if you listen to what he's saying, it's obviously satirical. Because, he's kind of speaking as, I don't know, I hate to say the T word, but kind of a Trumpian figure who is basically, seems to be out for themselves. I don't care what happens to you. I'm just trying to make my money and, do what I'm going to do. And
I don't care if you live or you die, as long as you're willing to buy.
Yes.
Yeah, the hell with
all about
everything.
consumerism and making
Yep.
money. And yeah.
Yeah, pretty biting commentary. I like that. The only thing here built to last is the engine that turns your world to trash.
Yeah.
So yeah, very cool. I love that song. I thought it was fantastic. Great groove, great beats, and lyrically fantastic. What's Left? This one was different in a good way. Starts off with that little. A lot of people do it where it's like that vinyl record that there's like the little bit of sound going on in the background. I like that. And then this one's different. It's got this quick, snappy little drum beat.
Yeah.
And I don't know that in this case it's an actual drum. It could have been a machine for all I know, but very snappy. And I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I didn't have a ton to say about this one. I like the song, but it just kind of, there's parts of it that grab me, and whatever, like the chorus riff I think was super cool and kind of catchy. The melody of the chorus I think was hummable, I guess, if you it's kind of catchy.
I thought it was sort of Helmet-ish.
Okay.
Got that vibe in there. And I like the line trapped in the shadow of our progress. It kind of is, that's a continuation of the previous. So I guess they all are in a way.
Yeah.
They're not shy about their critiques on society, and I like that, It makes them more genuine, I think. That brings us to Merchant of the Void. And we're back a little slower and softer to begin.
Yeah.
And it builds. And it builds. And I like that. I think that's really cool that they do that, Not everything is in your face. But when it is, it's in your face.
Yes. This one I know for sure has a video. This I think is one of the singles. This one may have the most plays on Spotify. But yeah, super cool groove. The keyboards in this song are great. The chorus is just huge. And I like I don't know if it's just the drums or maybe a combination of the drums and the riff on the chorus. It almost sounds like a march. It's just sounds like a march. And man, it works.
Yeah, I think you're comment about the keyboards too. There's a lot of keyboards in the background that come in and just hit notes every once in a while. I think they do that really well. And I just looked on Apple, and it is not one of the top played songs on Apple.
Really?
It's Acme Death Machine and Slum Planet.
Okay. Yeah, Slum Planet was up there. I thought it was Slum Planet and Merchant of the Void.
And Everybody Wants to Rule the World is obviously going to be up there.
It was not on Spotify.
See, it's one of the top 3 here. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, that's funny.
Huh. Next one is Higher Than Death. This is another one for me that had really cool lyrics.
Yes. Yeah, this is definitely a highlight for me. His vocals are spot on. The guitar tone is just, deep and nasty, and the groove and the dynamics in the song. Like this one just works really, really well.
Yeah. Slow and hard. And I like that one. I think when you talk about songs being placed on the album too, I think this was placed really well because the next one is super hard and fast.
Yep.
I think they really did juggle how the songs were laid out on here. So I think it was very intentional. But that next song is Alien, and it has a super cool groove, and it's got more of those electric elements as well. This was one of my top 3, I think. I really like this one. Yeah. I like how this one just came right at you right off the bat.
Yeah, it's super fast and frenetic. Towards the end, I think there's like the really sick breakdown, which, I mean, you don't really associate that too much with industrial or electronic music, but man, it's when it hits, you're like, ooh, yeah.
They have quite a few breakdowns on here, or moments where they go a little softer and melodic in the midst of a really heavy song. And I think that's really what adds dynamic elements to this record.
Yeah.
So, but I like that one. Was that one of your top ones or no?
It was not, actually. I dig it, but yeah, no, it wasn't one of my top.
All right. Next up is Plutonomicon. Did I say that right?
Sure.
Plutonomicon. I think that is. This one, and then we go back. Here we go. We got a slow builder building up.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
okay. I know I've heard like 3 bands already in some of these songs. I definitely hear a bit of a band in this when they hit the chorus.
Okay.
I'm not going to say it. I'm just going to see if you can tell me. And if you didn't hear it, then I'm probably out there somewhere.
I don't know. I don't know who that would be. I mean, I like there's a keyboard part that kind of comes in and out in the song. I think it hits a couple, and they kind of play it kind of staccato.
Mm-hmm.
Hit the notes kind of in a staccato way that works really well. I love how he does the vocals, kind of the whisper in the verses and then yells in the chorus is very cool and effective. I'm not sure who. Yeah, I don't know who you might be thinking of there.
Metallica.
Okay. All right.
If you go back and listen, just
Yeah.
check it out again and see there's something there that not the whole song, but there's a part there where just like, oh my gosh, this sounds just like him. But
yeah, I'll have to check that out.
But I liked it. I liked that this one just was a slow builder, kind of grows on you. And then okay, so the next song is Paralyzed, and of course it's got Mick Gordon on here as well, but also Horror. So,
yes. So Horror is, man, they're hard to define. They really are. So Horror is basically 2 guys. It's the OGM and Yeti Bones. And they're kind of hip hop, kind of punk. They got some hardcore in there. They're kind of all over the place, but it's pretty cool. I'm not like, I don't go super deep on them. I'm not a fan, but actually listening to this, I went and checked out, some of their songs, some of their bigger songs and whatever. And they kind of have a cool vibe, and they're very noisy. And it is super. Everything I said, you can hear the punk, you can hear the hardcore, and of course the hip hop. And it's just, they fit. This is not the first song they have done with them, with 3Teeth. So, yeah, so they've worked with them before, and I think there's good reason they had them back because this song is cool. It's just really cool. It's heavy and noisy, and you've got that rap break in there. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I thought so too. It had a really deep groove too. Like this one really went deep. And then of course it had some of those nuance type sounds in the background, which were nice. And then this one was another one of those that although it didn't start or wasn't really slow at any point, it had a really cool build up into the chorus.
Yeah.
That was good. Yeah, I thought I'd like to hear something else. I want to hear what the song is that they did together before. I'm gonna have to look that up.
Yeah, if I can, I can look on here and I'll try to find that.
Oh, no, it's right there. It's Paralyzed. I just found it in the list, but I'm going to find that and check it out because I did like that combination. It was good.
Yeah.
Oh, same thing. Okay. Next song is Scorpion. And this one is slow.
Yeah.
And then he's got kind of a growl going on. And again, we got those keyboards again, creating a little sound, little feel in the background, and then we get a really angry chorus. And I am the Scorpion.
Yeah. So, they actually have merch for this song. They have they have like hats and shirts and stuff that has it's got their 3Teeth logo and it's got the scorpion kind of above their logo. But nice. Everything you said, I would agree with. I think the female vocals on this was kind of a nice change of pace. You know, kind
we
of
know who that is
a little bit. I don't. I did not look that up.
Well, yeah, it's interesting that everybody else gets credit, but there's no credit for anybody.
Yeah,
on this
right.
one.
I know. There's no featuring here, so I don't know.
Yeah, I'd have to look that up and see.
The song that I listened to with Horror and 3Teeth is from 2018. It's called Lights Out.
Lights Out. Okay.
So check that out. Let me know what you think.
Lights Out. I will check that out. I'm on Scorpion here. I'm trying to see if they have credits None. Come on, really? Well, that's a bummer. Sorry, lady. You were great, but you got no credit.
Yeah, we don't know who you are, but thanks.
No cred from the boys. All right. The next song is Drift, and there's a video for this one. And this is one of my favorite songs on the record because it's such a departure from the other songs. Again, it's got a cool groove. All of their songs do. It's super catchy, but this one's dreamy, which is really neat because the other ones are definitely not. And I like the idea. We're fighting this whole record. And then this one is about finally just kind of giving up the fight and going on to whatever, ascending to another state, whether that's, dying and moving on, whatever it is, but you are now getting away from that anxiety of this fight and somehow going someplace else. And I love that concept, and I love this song.
This one, it has kind of a droning guitar, which sometimes is great and sometimes is not. I think it works really well on this one. It definitely contributes to that kind of dreamy feel that you're talking about. His vocals, I think you get his full range here. I mean, he's whispering, he's shouting, and everything in between. And I think this was definitely meant to be the closing song. And I feel like the cover at the end, the last song, is kind of a bonus track almost, because this is definitely, it feels like this should close the album. And
I would say the same.
I think it works really well for that.
I agree. Yeah, this is just fan. And the singing you had mentioned earlier, a lot of times industrial people don't sing well, but he sings very well. He's very melodic and does an excellent job. And this would be a perfect closer, but not to say that I'm not happy that we got the cover, because the cover is very cool. Everybody wants to rule the world. And that's the one I think that Paul shared with us, right? Originally.
No, I think I did, actually.
Was that yours? Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, cool cover. Didn't know that I needed it. I guess I did, because it works pretty well as an industrial song. And they really hit it. I dug it quite a bit.
The keyboards and the drums kind of combined to make a really cool groove. His vocals sound great, and I'm a huge fan of a good cover song, and this definitely fits that description, and I am here for it. Happy with it.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and Tears for Fears for anybody who didn't get that from Everybody Wants to Rule the World. But and it does fit so well with what they do.
Yep.
So
on brand, on theme.
Yeah, so it definitely has a place on this album, but I agree with Mr. Mundy. It wasn't our closer. So I'm gonna act like it didn't exist.
Yeah.
So before I score, so my top 3 were Slum Planet, Alien, and Drift.
Okay.
What were yours?
Well, I did 4. Slum Planet.
Cheater.
Slum Planet, Merchant of the Void, Higher Than Death, and Drift.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we had 2. That's not bad.
Yeah.
All right. Well, how would you score this thing, and will you listen again?
I will say probably 3.75 out of 5. And I mean, I will listen to this again. I've added songs from this to playlists. And I mean, like I said, I don't go super deep with them. I've watched a lot of their videos, but this makes me want to go back and listen to their albums and stuff.
Yeah, I definitely will. I'm definitely going to listen to that one song. So I'm kind of between a 3.5 and a 4. I really like the record. As I said, I didn't love the first song, but overall, very pleasantly surprised. And, with industrial, you get that sound. I mean, that just comes through a lot. But I feel like you really got a lot more on this record. I think they do an excellent job of mixing it up, adding layers to the music. So, you know what? I'm just going to go with a 4. And
cool.
I love Drift. I think that will be on a repeat for a while, probably. And I will definitely listen again, and I'm going to listen to more. So I'm going to go with 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it when, we get a band like this. This is their 4th album. Neither one of us, I was familiar with them. You were not at all. And
Nope.
now, like, we want to listen to the rest of it. So I love when that happens.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to see what they do live. And I'll probably go to YouTube and try to find some live stuff to see what that's like.
They do. I mean, they have a full band.
Mhm.
If you look up the band, it's vocals, keyboards, drums, guitar, and it
I think in the Drift video they're sitting around that house playing, so you actually see them all. Somebody's playing guitar.
Yeah.
So kind of a low key video, but I guess the song's kind of low key for them too.
Yeah,
just heavy in meaning. So, all right. Well, that was excellent. Outside of that AI rubbish we had to deal with, and speaking of comic books and rock, our next comic book club next month is Rock of Ages.
Oh, yeah.
So that's pretty fun.
Grant Morrison Justice League.
Yeah, I pulled it out. I haven't done it yet because I'm going back through the Chichester run on Daredevil before his Black Armor series starts in November.
Oh, right.
Doing like a little reread on that. So I'm kind of excited.
Yeah, I've not. Grant Morrison's real hit or miss for me. He did one of my all-time favorite books, Animal Man. So, and the Arkham Asylum Batman graphic novel, but I think I read, I don't remember what it's called, but the first arc of this run that he did.
Oh yeah. New World Order.
Yes, I think I read that, but not anything else. So I'm excited to read Rock of Ages.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm a fanboy of Morrison, so I catch more crap for being a fan of his and Mike Allred's than anything else. Every time I go into the shop, I catch crap about Mike Allred. So,
but
he's very stylized. I get it. You're gonna love him or not like him. Probably. There's not a lot of in between with his style, but I love it. It's so good. So there you have it, people. Love me some Mike Allred.
Comics.
What's great is there's so much out there that you got to find something you like, right?
Yeah.
You don't have to like everything. All right. Well, next week, we should be back probably on Monday, we're feeling, which would be the 8th, October 8th. And we're going to do Prong, State of Emergency. That is released on Friday. So if you want to play along, watch and listen with us, check that out next Friday. There are 3 songs released right now. We've already reviewed 2 of them. And spoiler alert, we really liked them.
Prong is one of my all-time favorite bands. It's the only band I have ever seen that I've been on the guest list for their show. And they're just, I've been listening to them since like 1990. So I'm always excited to get new Prong.
So if we get 10 comments during the show next week, Mr. Mundy will get a Prong tattoo live on the show.
I mean, I've considered getting a Prong tattoo before, so that wouldn't be much of a stretch.
He will get a Backstreet Boys tattoo.
No.
Fine. What if we had 100 comments on one show?
No, nope.
Shoot. Okay. All right, folks, you heard it here. He hates all of you.
That's the takeaway.
That's my takeaway. All right. Well, anyway, thanks for listening. Thanks for showing up. Please hit the like button, guys. Leave a comment so we know what you like, what you don't like, and we can try to get better because that's what we want to do. We want to be awesome. So, and next week we will have a cool announcement as well. Mr. Mundy has been working behind the scenes, and so we'll officially announce that next week. How's that sound?
Yeah, cool. That'll be about a month out from what we're doing. So,
excellent. All right, folks. Until next week. Peace.